Would you put that slide back up with all the names on it? Okay, if you see your name on this list, or if you can't read the list, but you know that you participated in the Online Skills Mastery course this year, will you please stand up? So I wanted to recognize all the graduates of our Online Skills Mastery. These are folks who have participated in our Online Skills Mastery course that really focuses on building your skills in teaching online, fully online. And part of the way that we do it is to ask the teachers to become the students so that they really resonate with what the student experience is like taking a fully online course. So for those people that have completed the OSM course, I'm just going to ask you to please be available to other faculty who may be interested in taking the course. And if you haven't taken the course before but are interested, there is information about it in the hall, and you can sign up. But you can also ask any of the folks here that have participated. So hopefully we will see you online at the future Online Skills Mastery course. This summer is the next time it's going to be offered, but it's offered several times a year, so if you can't do it this summer, you're welcome to do it another time. And now I'd like to have Scott come and join me, and we're going to talk a little bit about Office of Digital Education and where we've been and where we're going. So actually I'll turn it over to Scott first.
Excellent. Thank you, Sheana. And just before we get started really quickly, we wanted to do a couple additional thank yous. First off, for the Office of Digital Education team for putting this all together with an extra special thanks to our quarterback and MVP, Patty Godby. Where are you, Patty? There she is. Thank you guys so much. It's an incredible amount of work to put this together that goes so smoothly because of the talent and enthusiasm of this team, and we would not, if we didn't have Patty, we would all be in trouble, trust me. I also would like to extend a huge thanks to our events team here at CU South Denver. They're incredible. They do a fantastic job every day, deal with a million complexities and things, and they do it with beautiful professionalism and incredible service. So thanks a ton to the CU South Denver events team for helping us put on a great event as well. Yes, thank you. So lastly, we have to express our sincere appreciation for Dr. Tom Cavanaugh for doing our keynote today. It's really fantastic to have him here, and one of the things that Tom shared was their equation at UCF of scale plus excellence equals impact, excuse me. And I thought that was it's so fantastic, and I think there's one kind of footnote, Tom, that we would maybe suggest to add to that, because you talked about all the things that you're doing at UCF and the impact that it's having there for your students, wherever they may be on your campus, et cetera. I would offer that the work that you're doing and that your team is doing actually is having an impact across the country for institutions like ours and faculty like ours and students that we have the opportunity to serve. So all the things that you do for the industry, for us in general, we so appreciate it, and and so thank you again so much. Also, a small plug, if you like what you heard, please listen to the Teaching Online podcast that Tom and his partner in crime, Kelvin, do. They have a phenomenal podcast covering a lot of great topics. So if you want to learn more, please do that. It's just another example of what they do for the community. So anyway, thank you. So I think that ties right well into what we're doing and what we're aspiring certainly to try to achieve in a lot of ways. And Tom talked about the iron triangle in education and sort of the legacy mindset around that. And these strategic priorities sort of do represent what we've talked about, kind of the anti-iron triangle in some ways, that we just, like Tom shared, we're just not going to buy into the fact that it's okay to sacrifice either cost or access for quality. So these strategic priorities that we have for our office really are representative of that. In terms of what we're trying to achieve from our goals, first and foremost, these reinforce that mindset of high quality, broadening access. The other key piece of this is around partnership and collaboration. I think you see that hopefully every single day from the Office of Digital Education team. You've seen it hopefully today, and hopefully you see it every day. The commitment to collaboration and partnership and to your success as faculty, we are truly committed to it. That's what drives us every day. And we certainly aspire to be an industry model. You can see what UCF has done in so many ways. They really are a tremendous model, and we feel like for us in particular, and we really aspire to invest in all these areas and more to become that kind of model that UCF has. Some of the ways that we're doing this, to give you some a little bit more insight and depth into what we're doing, just some of the areas that we're beginning to make investments in. Certainly starting that top left-hand side, we're doing a tremendous amount working with the schools and colleges and programs to look at the programs that they want to launch online or maybe redesign and grow in some way, and look at what the opportunity is out there in the market, and then partner with them around how we might broaden the awareness of those programs and make more folks aware of them that are interested. That certainly continues right into our recruitment and enrollment management capabilities. Again, Tom talked a lot about that, the importance of that hand-holding for prospective students as they're going through that enrollment process. It can be daunting and scary and confusing, quite frankly, sometimes. And so we're really being intentional about investing in areas where we can help those prospective students navigate through that process and do that successfully and have a great experience from that. That really continues to another key area after they do get enrolled, which is that student success piece and continuing that handhold, if you will, through all of their courses, all the way through to graduation. That's something that we're also really, really committed to. We feel like that's incredibly important to the success of each individual student, making sure that we're there for them when they have questions about who to talk to about registering for a course or financial aid or any kind of issue, or quite frankly just need some cheerleading and some support and encouragement. We want to make sure that they feel that from us, and we feel a great responsibility and an opportunity to help provide that encouragement in addition to you all here on a regular basis. So we're very excited about that and all the areas that we're investing in. I'm going to turn it over to Sheana now to talk through some of the... I will be turning it over to Sheana in just a few moments.
Oh, okay.
All right, here you go.
I was warned about some wardrobe malfunction up here.
Boy. Okay.
So, because our audience today is comprised, many of you are faculty and are teaching in our programs already, I really want to speak to you specifically about the services that we have been offering, but we're dedicated and committed to continuing. And really, we have training programs, the online skills mastery, as well as specific mastery pathways that are offered to folks online. It was great to have the keynote this morning and Dr. Kavanaugh talk about what they're doing in terms of faculty development, because that dovetails with what we plan as well. And I look forward to developing a really strong relationship with the Center for Faculty Development. We've been talking specifically about ways that we can support Think Studio, because although we we don't have completely overlapping missions. We have a lot of synergies in what we do, and we don't want to duplicate efforts. We want to be good about leveraging the resources that we have, and so they're a great group that's very focused on excellence in digital pedagogy, and we want to support some of their efforts as well. So in addition to our own training, we're going to be reaching out to other entities on our campuses in a way that can facilitate ongoing faculty development and support. In the coming year, we're specifically going to be focused on developing some peer mentoring programs. We're going to quickly kind of talk about what we've done in this past year, where we're going in the next year, and then we really want to take some time to answer your questions about our office and our activities. So really, if you look back here, you know, we've really been spending the past year building out our team. So what our belief is that in order for us to achieve our mandates and to do what we need to do with excellence, we have to have a really strong foundation. So we've been building out our team. We now have leadership in all of these areas, in marketing, recruitment, enrollment, and student success and instructional design. We also have coming on board a director of evaluation that's going to be working with our team to make sure that we have the capacity to produce the data similar to what you saw today about what's working in our program. So we're really excited about that. Many of you here may have participated in preparing and submitting a proposal in response to our request for applications for our programs. And so we're moving into a model where we're going to support an entire program to move fully online. There are many programs where they're offering across our campuses where several courses within a degree program are being offered online. We'd like to see entire programs move online. So we solicited proposals for those programs, and we got 15 new or revised program applications. And so we're going to be moving forward to support those programs in more of a staggered fashion. And then the other thing that we have spent time in this past year doing is really focused on a task force for some attention to the $15,000 undergraduate degree that we have decided to take on. And so that task force included 54 people who helped us really think through what are the must-haves for a $15,000 degree in terms of student success, faculty development, program selection, and then the technical capabilities or aspects that we need for that program. So actually, before I move to this, that task force we've now actually disbanded. It doesn't mean that we're not going to work with faculty and staff and students on this topic moving forward. Rather, they've completed their first mandate, which was to give us that guidance and that advice. And now we're going to reconvene a smaller working group as we move forward to develop our 15K program or programs. This past year, one of our mandates also is to increase scholarly works related to digital education. So we've had a number of conference presentations, webinars, peer-reviewed publications by folks within our office, but then by faculty in our partner institutions across the campuses. So we'd like to continue to build that and create opportunities for our faculty to partner with us in writing groups and in other mechanisms that allow them to have their scholarly works related to digital education be showcased. So in 2019 and 2020, this isn't a typo. I didn't, fail to put in the actual number of new or revised programs. We've been, in the past week and a half, actively looking at those 15 proposals that we've received, and we do intend to support all of the programs. It's really just a matter of figuring out who we're going to support first and when, and so we're going to be working very closely with a large number of them so that particularly those revised programs can essentially relaunch by the fall this fall or the next fall, and then have a number of new programs coming online as of fall 2020, 2021, and 2022. And so we're going to be working very closely with the programs and all of the faculty in those programs. We plan on working with Center for Faculty Development and Think Studio for these next two bullets around writing groups, scholarly activities, so that we can work together to pursue grants and think about getting publications out, and then really creating a robust set of peer mentoring activities. We'll continue development of a 15K degree. I shared with the 15K task force there was a program selection subcommittee that has recommended a number of different options for us to pursue in terms of which program. And there is a group now that has stepped forward, raised their hand and said, well, we want to consider being the 15K degree. They haven't made a formal commitment. We haven't signed any papers, but we are working with a consortium from business, math, and computer science that would be an interdisciplinary data science and analytics undergraduate degree. So hopefully that will all continue without too many bumps in the road, and hopefully that will be our 15K degree. Assuming we can make it all work. And then we have been working on partnering with CU Succeed to facilitate that Regent mandate around getting 30 credit hours for secondary school students available by the fall of 2024. So they'll be piloting some initial programs in this fall. So now we want to open it up to questions from you. We've shared with you a little bit about what we've been up to, about where we're going in the coming year. We want to really leave most of the rest of our time today just to focus on what your questions are and see if we can help answer them or at least take them under consideration. So what questions do you have? I know people, well, maybe people are still eating.
I have a question. On the online programs, do the classes have to be all fully online, or is there a combination of hybrid and online classes?
So as of right now, given that we have a mandate from both the chancellors and the regents to grow our fully online programs, our focus right now is on fully online programs so that all of the programs are being delivered fully online. However, in some schools and colleges, their accreditation is such that they cannot deliver all of their courses online, particularly the health professions are an example. So in some instances, we're able to work with those programs, but in those cases, the majority, if not all of the didactic material is online, and what's in person is really more clinical rotation activities. That doesn't mean that in the future we won't be moving into more hybrid and blended learning opportunities. I mean, we heard this morning that there is strong evidence about their efficacy for student outcomes. So that's certainly something that we aspire to. It's just in the immediate short term, like the next couple of years, our mandate is to focus in the fully online space.
Sheana and Scott, since your team is going to be focusing largely on program development, what kind of support is there going to be for individual faculty members, maybe who teach an online course and they need help with that?
I might actually turn it over to our Director for Instructional Design to elaborate here. Certainly, any faculty member who would like to participate in our trainings is welcome to do that. And they can go into AWESOME or the online mastery paths. Jason, can you add?
Sure.
Should be on.
Hello. I have a voice. Yeah, I'd be happy to share a little. So Our team's offerings include lots of different opportunities for training and partnership across a range of things that are related to specific individual faculty as well as programs. So none of those will be going away. We would love to partner with you in consultation on your course, whether it's design related or if it's technology related. We'll be doing active sort of needs assessment of different programs and colleges to see what kind of training things and technologies do you really care about, and things that you would find really valuable as well. So the answer is our door is open. We actually don't have a door. We're in the open on the 13th floor, and we'd love to see you. We are your partners and consider ourselves your collaborators in doing this work for and with our students, and none of that will change. So look for opportunities for your own professional development as well as professional development for and partnership for your entire program.
Other questions?
Yeah, we got one more right here.
Hello.
There, you got it.
Oh dear, I have a microphone. That's dangerous. I was wondering if you could, I'm a newer faculty, a long-serving staff member, but newer to the faculty universe. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the mentoring that you might be providing, and then also, you made a big mention about the 15K. Maybe I'm the only one in the room who doesn't understand why that's important, but if I am, we can talk later. But could you speak more about like why that's important and how is that different than other degrees that we're doing? Thank you.
What if, Scott, you answer the 15K and then I'll answer the mentoring
Sure,
question?
sounds good. So from a 15K perspective, what that is all about is it was one of the Regent resolution goals that they came up with, which was really a challenge to the whole CU system to open our doors to more people across the state of Colorado and provide a broader number of pathways to get to us, to help them advance in their lives. And certainly we know that one of the challenges that exist today and barriers that exist is around cost. I mean, there is an access challenge that exists. We're working on in terms of growing the number of programs and making more available, making folks more aware of them so that we can broaden the access in that way and allowing different pathways from community colleges, et cetera. We also need to look at ways that we can lower the cost of education, the effective cost for our students. And I think there's a variety of ways that we can do that. Another one of the ways that we're actually pursuing that is through employer partnerships. There's a phenomenal trend that's going on across the industry right now that in the talent development space around education as a benefit. And companies are recognizing that they can retain their employees longer if they're involved in these education programs. Not to mention they can upskill them to take on bigger and better roles. So those kinds of programs are coming into place where it ultimately, if you use Walmart as an example, right now, Walmart employees can advance their education. They can choose their degree, whether it's actually a GED all the way through an advanced degree. They can pursue that path for $1 a day. And that's because of a combination of the federal dollars that are available, which is not a ton, but $52.50 a year, and the money that Walmart is investing in that. So there's a lot. I think those are kinds of things that we're pursuing as well to create more pathways for more folks to come to us. And have that be at a lower cost. And the 15K degree is really just another example of that. If we think about opening as many doors as we can and finding various ways to do that. So if we can, with a focus on developing and delivering a program it's of exceptional quality, we're not going to look at this, we don't look at it, and we would never it's 15K degrees, so we're going to just lower the quality of that, or we're going to lower the quality of the experience or any aspect of it. Our expectations are as high as anything that we do for that experience and the outcomes for that student, for those students that we would serve. And we need to try to do it in a way that is an all-in $15,000. So we feel like it's an incredible opportunity, it's an unbelievable challenge, and an incredible opportunity to make possible a pathway for people in this state to get a CU degree that may be the only barrier for them is cost. If we can remove that for some folks and make that possible for them, that's an amazing opportunity for us. So that's really the thought process behind doing that. Does that help?
And then to your question about mentoring, so there's more and more information that's emerging in the literature about how we can support faculty, and one of the things that keeps coming up is around peer mentoring for people who have already taught online, to become peer mentors and to support one another through things like communities of practice. And so we're going to be working, and this is one of the areas where we anticipate working very closely with the Center for Faculty Development and Think Studio to create a number of opportunities that faculty can choose from. So in terms of our program support, how we plan on doing this is any program of those 15 that applied to us and that we'll be working with, the faculty who are teaching in that program can complete, or we'll ask them to complete, the online skills mastery training if they haven't already. And then the first year that they're delivering their fully online course that's been designed through the program, we'll give them a stipend that they can apply to a number of selections, a number of opportunities, and it will be tailored to their needs. So they could choose to be a part of a community of practice. They might choose to go to a conference to learn more about a particular pedagogy. They may choose to use resources to buy technology to try it out in their classroom. We do want to, in that space, the mentoring space, make sure that they're matched up with faculty who have experience teaching in the online environment as peer mentors. So the faculty who are in our programs, who are going to be teaching in our programs, can access that. We're also going to be soliciting participation from seasoned faculty to be those peer mentors, because we really feel that will be a value for the folks who are perhaps teaching online for the first time or refreshing their course or still trying to work out the kinks about how to make this the highest possible quality. Other questions?
Anything else?
Yes.
Does the literature support quality outcomes in purely online programs? Is there any research on GMAT scores and GRE scores or MCAT, PCAT, stuff like that? I know that the expectation is that the quality is the same, but the end result, what are there quality measures and is there literature on that?
Yeah, so our keynote presented some of that this morning relative to UCF, but it's consistent with what we see across the literature generally, that the performance in face-to-face compared to fully online is generally equivalent. There is some evidence that blended learning, more of the hybrid, can improve performance of students. There may be other people who are more familiar with the GRE, GMAT, the standardized testing, and I guess I'm not entirely sure I understand your question related to that piece.
Well, I don't know if there's been literature on people that have graduated from face-to-face in-person programs and looking at their graduate entry scores as opposed and compared to students that have graduated from purely online programs.
Yeah.
And if there's any quality, if there's any disparate data there.
I'm not familiar with that literature. Is there anyone in the room that can answer that question? It's something we should look into.
Yeah, that's an interesting topic. But I think it's either there's a website called It's No Significant Difference. I'm not sure if it's if it's .com, .org. Thank you. Thank you, Jason. There's for lots of years now, probably 15, 20 plus years now, there's been a collection, a body of research around assessing online. And so that's a great resource. And in the future, when we launch the Office of Digital Education website, which will be be, is on the near-term radar for us. We're going to try to make those kinds of resources available to you all and more accessible, so that you have, if you wanted to dig into a particular area, we want to be a good resource for you all to be able to find that research.
And I will say there's a group out of Oregon that they've put up another website that's looking more specifically at digital education practices and what their impacts are. So they're taking a look at, we already have a pretty good literature around high impact practices for the face-to-face student and what those practices are. This group is looking at whether or not that evidence for what works face-to-face translates to the online environment, number one, and is there something that we should be testing in the online environment that's unique there that could emerge as a high impact practice. That literature is really just starting to grow, so it's a great resource, and I want to say it's out of Oregon.
It's Oregon State.
Oregon State, yeah.
They have their eCampus unit is awesome. Yeah, lots of good
Any
stuff.
questions?